7-2 after a overtime road win. Take us through the last little bit of that, and we'll talk a little bit about Senior Day coming up on Saturday.
Okay, yeah. Well, thankful to get a win. That was truly a miracle from God. He wanted us to win that one because it looked like there was no way. But pushed that field goal to the right and then hit the upright, and we were able to finish it out. So we responded obviously after halftime to come out and play way better. We didn't do a good enough job as coaches getting us ready to play the first half. Obviously that showed up, but we did finish strong, so I'm pleased with that. And it's hard to win. I've said that a lot. It's hard to win, and we'll take the victory, but there's a lot of learning that we got to get from it, and I think our guys will. There's a lot of good things that happened in that game. I thought some guys played really well, but also there's some things there that put us in some bad situations that we'll have to fix as we prepare, for a great opponent coming in and back in conference play. And the beauty of where we're at right now is, everything's out in front of you. And no matter what's happened in the past, you have an opportunity if you can play well, to put yourself in a position to play for a conference championship. And so this late in the season, that should excite us, and we should be excited about that. But also, I know we're going to play really well versus Western Kentucky because they're really good in all three phases, and it's going to be a big challenge for us. We're going to be an underdog. They're better than us in all three phases right now, and so we're going to have to play really well if we're going to have a chance to beat them.
Slow starts have really kind of plagued the team this year, and if you look at Western Kentucky, they normally get off to a really good start, except last week against Louisiana Tech and Alabama. But how important is it to get off to a good start, and what are some things that you guys can try to do to flip that script for you guys this week?
It's a great question. I thought the previous 2 weeks we got off to good starts, and thought middle we got off to a good start, and even some of those games, and then for whatever reason we reverted back to maybe how we were at the beginning of the season a little bit, trying to fill it out, and it's been a perplexing. From a coaching standpoint, to figure out what I and our coaching staff need to do better to get us, whether it's more excited, more focused to play, to come out ready to go. We've struggled to do that. Certain times we have showed up, and so we've looked at how we practice. Do we start differently in practice? We've looked at different things from pregame warm-ups, some things to change some things out, and so. We spent a lot of time after last week, yesterday and Sunday and yesterday, just talking about, hey, what are some things that we can do to make sure that we're lock and loaded from the opening kick and not waiting to get behind and fill it out and then get going. So hopefully the things that we decide that we're going to do, hopefully that'll help us. And because if we don't, and I think I might have stated this after the game, if we don't, we got no shot of winning the next two games. No shot. Because the two teams that we're playing are really, really good the next 2 weeks. And so if we start out that way, we're not going to be able to climb out of the hole versus an opponent like Western Kentucky and the type of players and the way they do things. So, hopefully our players will understand that. And, it's going to hopefully the things that we do change, hopefully that'll get us where we need to be.
You mentioned, hopefully the players understand the need to start urgently, quickly. Is that more where it's at in terms of understanding? Do you have an idea of where they are in terms of grasping that and then being able to execute that so that you can start the way you need to?
If I did, I don't know if we'd be having these questions, right? And so I think our players understand it. I think they know they want to get off to a good start, but also what a player has to do and what they have to realize is, hey, you've got to own your job, own your role, and you've got to get yourself ready to go no matter what the circumstances, no matter what the situations, no matter what's going on at home. When we're out there on the field, that's got to be a sanctuary for 3.5 hours. And no matter what you have, no matter what you're thinking about, what your future is or what happened in the past, you got to be locked in on that. And I think we've struggled with that at times, obviously completely being locked in on the things that we need to be locked in on in that moment. And so they understand that, but understanding it and actually applying it is two different things. And I have to, as the head coach, I have to do a better job of getting us more consistent coming out and playing. Obviously if you go back to first drive defense, they just went right down the field. I mean, it looked like we wasn't even in the game. I actually thought our offense did some good things, but we had some penalties that set us up. So I thought our offense came ready and was ready to go. But we beat ourselves on some things, and so we just got to learn how to and they have to learn how to just play together better. Early. We can't have one side playing well and the other side not, and vice versa. So it's been one of those all year long we've been working on. So hopefully it'll get fixed.
You guys got some big game experience last year, obviously in the Conference USA Championship, Fiesta Bowl, a little bit of that. The next 2 games are for kind of like play-ins a little bit for Conference USA. Do you hope to lean on maybe your key players getting some of that big game experience last year? And then, do you have the hope that your team can rise to the big moments in these next few weeks that you're going to have?
Yeah, I definitely have hope. I mean, I think we're definitely capable of it. There's no doubt. If we, and I've shared it with them, if we play the way that as a team, if we play as a team the way our team's capable of, we have 100% confidence we can go out and have the season that we want to have. I believe that. But we have to do that consistently, and I think that's one thing that's typically been a hallmark is every week we've played to a certain level. That's not happened, this year for whatever reason. And so, but we have confidence in the players in that group, in that room, and in our leadership in that room, and in the coaches that will put together a good plan. Our players can execute it. And when we're at home, there's an excitement about that. There's a senior day. There's excitement about that. But also, when we went through those 2 losses, we lost all control. We had to hope something good would happen for us to even give us a chance to get back, and that's happened. I told that thing. I said, "Hey guys, I told you we're out of control, and look, somebody gave you a chance. We got an opportunity, and now you have the opportunity to go take it. So we control ours. We're back to controlling our own destiny now, which 3 weeks ago it was completely out of the question, and so now we have that opportunity. So if that doesn't excite you, if that doesn't motivate you to have the opportunity to go play for a championship, then you're playing the wrong sport."
Any update on Alex Oliver and then also your tight end room? How's that look? And if some of those guys can't go, who's next up behind Jacob?
Yeah, so Alex will be a game time decision. He lower body injury there, and wasn't it bad as we first thought? But also, there's a lot of work for him to be able to play in the position he plays. When you're a corner, you can't be gimpy. So he'll definitely be a game time decision. But we did get better news than what we anticipated there, so I think there's a shot. Bentley will be out for a little while with a lower body injury, and so hoping maybe he can get back in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But that's still to be determined how he responds from that standpoint. And so Caleb Ryan played a lot of football for us in the last game. Jacob Jenkins did. Austin Henderson's out as well. So 2 guys that played a lot of football out at tight end. And so one of our freshmen, Deuce Hewitt, will have to expand our role. He's played a little bit the last couple of weeks. He was a guy that's redshirting, so he's in his 4 games, and so he's played a little bit. So his role will expand there. And then if we have to, use another one, Eli Sisson, who's another tight end that'll be redshirted, he's still got his 4 games as well. So that room took a hit from a depth standpoint, but Jacob's played a lot of football. Caleb's gotten better and better each week. Been in our program a couple of years, and then Deuce has got to be able to have a role for us if we're going to be able to use those guys the way we've been.
How's this Western Kentucky team similar or different than the team that you saw a year ago?
Way better. I mean, they're defensively, they're tremendous. They don't give up any points hardly in the red zone. If you look at majority all their games, with the exception of Alabama, they've played tremendous defense, and they've put their team in place to win games all the time. Even this last week, they gave up 12 points. La Tech got down there 5-6 times and could only come away with 12 points. So they're really good defensively. They've got senior laden offensive line, quarterbacks playing well, and they've got really good skill players. And so, and then as I mentioned, special teams. And so, in my two years, they're phenomenal. They're really good, and I think, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. Obviously, they had a hiccup last week, but that's college football. It's hard to win every week, And so, and La Tech's, if you check them out, they're pretty good defensively and all these things. They've lost some games where their defense has given up 9 points and stuff. So there's this league is pretty good from top to bottom, but they're very talented. And again, I don't know Tyson's his whole time of being here, but I would argue it's probably his most talented team that he's had from top to bottom. He'd probably tell you that because they've got a lot of experience, got some key transfers, and they've all been in that system now for a few years.
Their quarterback Veltkamp too come in after the injury earlier in the season and kind of taken over and really been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. How difficult is it to try to game plan against him?
Well, he's playing with tons of confidence. He obviously won the bowl game, and then they brought somebody in and he just kept doing his thing, and now that's his team. You can tell that. And I think what makes him challenging is he throws a lot of timing. He's rhythm. He gets it out quick. He doesn't give up a lot of sacks, and he's not going to put the ball in some situations where there's just danger passes. But then he can move around the pocket and hurt you in some of the run stuff. And so he's obviously the key to their ignition there, and does a great job of it. And he knows how to get it out and get it in the right positions to the people to go have some success. And they're very talented. He's done a really nice job.
How do you watch the Alabama tape against Western Kentucky? Do you watch it at all, or do you watch it with a grain of salt because it's different?
Yeah, I mean, you see what scheme-wise or how somebody's trying to do some things against them or vice versa. But also, they might have a 5-star kid or a guy that's an NFL first-round draft pick and he just makes a play, so for some of those. So you watch it, but also sometimes, hey, that guy's really, really good going up against that guy, so you don't judge it too much, from that standpoint. But we'll watch it. We watch all of it and find out, hey, did Alabama use a scheme that we like? Now Jalen Realmo might be 245 pounds running through somebody, and K-Salt's 205 soaking wet or whatever he is. But you try to find schemes and some of those things, but you don't put too much into it.